Hi, hello, greetings and warm welcome to Coffee with Estera. Here on our Malaysian Star Glitters series, we celebrate voices that inspires, challenge, and spark change. Today, I'm delighted and privileged to welcome a very special guest to me, a very special guest to me, because I follow all his podcasts, and someone who has become a very powerful voice in Malaysia podcasting. He is a PR. He has done his PR and marketing from Curtin's University, Sarawak. He is a popular content creator and political enthusiast whose platform shines a light on both politics and society, with a strong focus on the Indian community in Malaysia. Through his conversations with guests from all walks of life, he's creating awareness and sparking meaningful dialogue on education, business, lifestyle, politics, and leadership. He also aspires to become a politician in future, who is also a hardcore Indian himself. Proud of you, Vinod. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, dear precious audience, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Vinodh Rajendran to Coffee with Estera. Thank you for joining us again, dear all. Okay, so shall we have coffee?
Yes, let's have coffee. Cheers. Cheers. Having
Cheers.
coffee at night. It's not a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yes, but it's a booster for many, right? But I know it's
Yes,
not
yes,
good.
definitely. I drink way too
Yeah.
much coffee. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you drink a lot of coffee. Yeah, you work very late,
Yes.
and you see, coffee will keep us awake. So I
Yes.
want to keep myself awake as well, you and the audience. Okay, let's do the ice breaking. Before we dive into serious stuff, let me ask you this. What's your go-to drink when you are recording your podcast? Is it coffee, tea, or something else?
While I'm recording my podcast, it's always water. So I try not to drink anything then. So keep my blood pressure at the most baseline as possible. So I drink a lot of water, and plus, cause when you're speaking and all that, so you need water.
Yeah.
So but of course, after I may have my coffee or before, but during I only stick with water.
Yeah, that's a good idea because when we are sitting before the PC too long and all, we get dehydrated. So it's a good idea to hydrate yourself, not only with
Yeah,
water, some fluid like soya bean and all that. Okay.
sure.
Okay. Are you ready? Shall we start?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
Wow. Okay. So based on your desired topic today, how would you define leadership? Qualities of a true leadership related to politics.
You mean leadership in politics?
Yeah, define leadership. Related to qualities of a true leadership related to politics. Yes.
I think based on the people I follow in politics and I look up to, I think
Yes.
leadership is a quality, especially in regards to politics. I think it should be defined as somebody who can inspire or influence a mass group of people, who is able to lead a mass group of people effectively. That's good leadership, of course, and somebody who can really uh, be a role model for the people. I think that's very important as well. So I would define that, as somebody who can lead people, somebody who can inspire people, influence them, somebody who can enact change for the positive, for the good of the people, as well as somebody who then ends up being a role model for them. I think that's a very important thing to be a good leader.
Fantastic. A very good answer. The main reason why I'm so eager to hear from you about leadership and politics because you interview all the politicians and you
Yes,
put them
I
on
try
spot.
to.
Yeah, no, you have done a
Yeah,
wonderful job. I was
thank you.
thinking, I wish I could have followed you from the beginning. Although I don't have time to watch many. I pick and choose according to who I like to listen, and
Yeah.
I try to follow you as much as I can. And lately, you're bringing in a wonderful guest. I tell you, it's really. Uh, I'm really stunned with the guests because these are people who give fantastic answers. Especially, I didn't know we have so many Indians who are so talented, so good at what they're doing.
No,
So
it's good. It's good that you're saying that, because that's one of the main objectives as to why I started the podcast. Because I think I've said this several times also in other podcasts as well that I've been on, but I felt that there is no proper representation of no proper framing of the image of Indians in Malaysia. I feel that I felt that at that time the general perception of Indians was very negative, and the
yes,
limelight for Indians was being basically what is discussed in parliament, which may not always be positive when it comes to Indian image, as well as you hear all these stereotypes in the public. So I decided, no, instead of complaining, why don't we show it, because as they say, the proof is in the pudding. So that is
yes,
why I've managed to bring on, I'm blessed because of the kindness of all these people, but I've been able to bring on a lot of Indians who are very successful, because my idea is, look, the other races and Malaysians in general must accept that what sometimes they hear about Indians is wrong. And we have a lot of
yes,
successful Indians. And if you want to sum us up, you also have to include this pool of people into the conversation. And for a lot of people's information, I think most of the Indian community is comprised of these people, and also a lot of good people, regardless of their income level or what. So, of course, every community has a few bad apples, but most of us are
yeah.
doing very well and very good people.
Yes, yeah, I can see that because as for me, although I don't have much exposure Indians here locally, yeah.
Yeah.
From young, I'm always with Chinese. That's why I could speak Chinese,
Oh, you
So
can speak Chinese? I should learn.
yes, yes, I'm from Penang. I can speak Chinese. I can
I
Cantonese. I can
see.
understand a bit. Hokkien
Okay.
more fluent. Yeah, even some of my Chinese friends they say, "Hey, your Hokkien is better than mine," and all that. But yeah, because this is the unique thing about Malaysian. So before we go further, Happy
Yeah.
National Day, Happy
Happy
Hari
National Day to
Merdeka.
you too, and to everyone
Yeah,
watching.
yes, yes, to everyone and our wonderful audience and from Malaysia as well as our international audience. Yeah, we are in a very exciting moment now. Not only
Yeah.
because we have a Mr. Vinodh with us, but we are also going to celebrate New
Thank
Year
you
and
so
a
much. You're too kind.
long weekend. Long weekend is always exciting for Malaysians. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Yes, yes. So now let me ask you something related to focusing on inspiration and exclusivity. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know your podcast has become a strong platform for multiracial discussions, yet shine a spotlight on the Indian community. That I admire the most in you because I always had this feeling, our Indians are not represented well, and due to this, other races are thinking that we Indians are not good, but we are
Yeah.
brilliant people. We are
Yeah, yeah,
brilliant people. We
definitely.
have every Indian, I think, because I'm an international person, and I am exposed to many type of people, and that is why they conquer Canada, US, UK. They are in the government, okay. They are not only living there. Indians are
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
government. So if they are not brilliant people, hardworking people, they wouldn't have achieved what they have achieved. You
Exactly.
know, everything,
Yeah.
Google, that, this, everything. I think I don't have to tell. And I always have the feeling that we must bring out our Indian talents to the spotlight. And you have started
Yes.
it. That is one of the main reasons which attracted me to this podcast. Okay, there are
Thank you.
many
Thank you so
podcasts,
much.
but I really respect you for that. Because if you
Thank you
are
so
an
much.
Indian, you don't care for your own fellow Indians, then it's a waste if you are born
Yeah,
as
yeah,
Indian.
it is.
Of course, like what
It
you
is.
say, mentioned, we know there are some bad apples who ruin the whole thing, but generally we are kind people. Indians they have high level of IQ, EQ, and empathy towards others. Yeah, even
Yeah,
our
yeah.
culture teaches us that. And every Indian child from young, the mother instills the love of the country and respect in every child. That's why who are we
Definitely.
today? That's why. Okay, now what inspired you to start creating content in this space, and how do you balance minority voices while keeping the conversation inclusive?
I think I'm just. I think we'll start with the first part. What made me start this, right? So,
Yeah,
like I said, it was because of number one, of course, because I wanted to change the perception of Indians among Malaysians. And secondly was because I love politics, and I felt that after things like the Sheraton move and all that, I felt that there was a deflation in the spirit that we had. I think the electorate was very disillusioned by what has happened, and we see a lot of negativity among voters today. Whenever a politician says something, they
Yes.
respond in a very negative manner. The amount of cynicism we have among electorate today is very shocking. And my whole thing is, I think as voters, we play a very, very important role in politics. We sometimes Malaysians tend to forget just how powerful democracy is and how important our vote and our voice is throughout. And we have to really embrace that. So that is why I try my best to bring people from both sides. I have people from Madani, I have people from Perikatan Nasional, I have people from other smaller parties, because everybody may have different perspectives and different ideas. So it gives the viewer a chance to select the good and the bad. And I think as a democracy, as a electorate, we must also be mature. We must be able to dissect what is good and what is bad, and then make our choice. One bad thing about Malaysian democracy is that we tend to elect people based on the party, or if this person, even though if he's an independent candidate, he's a good leader or good track record experience, but if he's an independent or he's with a smaller party, maybe not part of a coalition, we don't vote for them. And so what has happened is, because of our commitment to voting for parties and coalitions instead of the individual, it affects the quality of MPs that we have in parliament. And it doesn't allow for newer blood to come in, more passionate people. For example, like one person that I interviewed recently was Siti Kasim. And Siti Kasim is a very popular lady, very popular. Her videos are always followed and loved by all. You can see the comments, people saying Siti Kasim for prime minister, blah blah blah. A lot of people asking to join politics. But thing is, when she ran for the Batu seat, the member of parliament of Batu, she
My
lost her
area.
deposit. Yeah, so she
Yes.
lost the deposit. So
Lost.
where do we
Yes.
stand? But but we voted for YB Prabha when he is a very new guy into politics, and just because he was backed by Tian Chua and all that, people support him. So what is the criteria that people are using? So that's why I have this podcast, and I want to give a very balanced view and perspective. I don't want to be one of those who just goes and makes fun of the government, criticizes the government, criticizes the opposition. No, let's discuss, let's debate, right? I know a lot of these politicians who I bring on, and I after we develop friendships and all that, but I never attack the person. I always talk about their topic, their beliefs. I question that, right? So that's one thing. Secondly is so it's just that, and I just wanted that whole participation of even people who were, you could say, unknown. I think in Malaysia we have this artist mentality where if somebody is famous, then only they are worthy to come and share their opinion. It doesn't work like that, right?
Exactly.
Everybody has an opinion, and some of the people I brought on were people who nobody knew, but their videos did really well because what they were sharing really resonated with people. So I think everybody has an opinion, and everybody should have a platform to share their opinion. And you the viewer can then choose to criticize or support. That is the backbone of democracy, freedom of speech. So that's the whole idea why I started this podcast. That inspired me to start it.
Yeah, like what you mentioned, Siti Kasim, I do follow her also from the beginning. From the beginning, she's very good. I think I did also pass a remark when before she was like canvassing for the election, because she's my area. She stood at my area. And as far as Prabha, I think the first thing, Siti Kasim is a better person if we have elected her because of the educational background, her profession, and her contribution to the community on the whole. Okay, but people are not aware. The main reason she lost, because even I myself, I don't know her. She was somebody new, which I know nothing. Whereas Prabha, I know his family. But although at that time, Tian Chua couldn't stand for election. If he stood for election, we all would have voted for him because he's more experienced. He's also a better person to be an MP. But unfortunately, he couldn't, and we had no choice. Otherwise, we have to vote for PAS. So most of the people there, including my friends, we voted for Prabha. So anyway, when they asked me, he's too young, can he handle? I said, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Let him
Yeah.
prove himself. Everybody need a chance. Even like as for me, I believe in my business. If my client didn't give me a chance when I was a nobody, today I wouldn't be so successful past more than 16 years. I'm holding the first place. So
Yeah.
everybody need to be given a chance. But again,
Correct.
never mind. I'll go back to that. I have another question I'll ask you later. So
Sure.
now let's go to the fantastic answer. I like your answer. You are always neutral. It's not easy. I like all your podcasts. You dare to question. I know at the back, you are good friends with them, but still on the spot when they say something not right, you dare to question them. This is what I like. Yes is
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
no is no. Neutral.
Yeah.
What was the turning
Thank you.
point? Yeah, I think you have already answered it. Okay, let us see. Can I see that? I can really see that you have applied your marketing strategy skillfully as a podcaster. Am I right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I can see that
I
because I'm also
oh,
a
okay. Thank you.
marketer.
I think that's for you to say, not for me to say, because you are the viewer, But I guess so. I don't know. I don't think so. But
No,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but the main reason I mentioned this is to highlight to you that people know that, from what you're doing, from the way you're doing the podcast and all, we know you're applying your marketing strategies, which is very good. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next, okay. As someone who closely observes Malaysian politics and your experiences interviewing many politicians, how
Yeah.
do you see the current representation of Indians in the political landscape? Do you feel their voices are being adequately heard?
Uh, Good question. I think that Indians. I think we have 13 Indian MPs in Parliament, which is not a bad thing. I know the opposition tends to harp on the fact that we don't have a Tamil-speaking minister in cabinet, but I think we have to be a bit more aware of what is happening now. If you look at the Rancangan Malaysia ke-13, you can sense that Prime Minister Anwar is moving towards more broad-based policies. So that is why you see that, for example, when he talked about, punishing parents who don't educate their children until Form 5, SPM. You see that now every housing area that has I think I can't remember the exact number of houses, needs to have a school and all that. He's
Mhm.
made it mandatory for you to send your child to preschool and all. This answers a lot of problems in the communities, not just one. I think uh, my thing is that I know the opposition tends to jump on this and say like Indians are not represented, our voices are not heard. I think the counter argument to that would be that Indians need to ask ourselves, how are we going to contribute or be a part of the Malaysian economy in the coming 5 years? How are we going to take part? And I think our leaders need to focus on that. They need to focus on, okay, if the government is saying that now we're going to focus on E&E, right? And they are projecting an income of 1 trillion from the exports of E&E, semiconductors, electrical, and electronics. Then the leaders should get together and brainstorm and say, okay, how are we going to get Indian youth or Indian people into this sector? I think we need to take part in the political in the economy. We have to take part in our country's development. And this sort of I think Anwar said it best. He said that, you say Indians are affected. What about the Malays? The Malays have a large population of poor people. You have Orang Asli communities that have just been, also have facing the same problems. So do we just focus on Indians? And I think if we are living in that environment now, I think the leaders should change their direction, and instead of just simply questioning, for example, why Mitra allocation just 100 million? Why hasn't the money come out and all this? Okay, those are fair questions. I think opposition has a right to ask those questions. But the bigger question is, how do we include Indians in the economy? How do we integrate ourselves as Malaysians into our country's progress? That should be our primary focus as a community. And I'm a very proud Indian. I'm very proud of my heritage, my history. I always say that Indians are the best. We gave the world so much and all that stuff. I'm that kind of guy. But as a Malaysian, I think we should ask ourselves, okay, what trends are there, and how do we, latch on those trends, and how do we grow as a community? Look, the idea is that the whole thing is this, right? For us to have greater significance in our country, we also have to first focus inwards and then integrate ourselves into the society better. This whole argument of, Indians are left aside, blah, 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 and all that, it just creates more division among the communities. And it creates this mindset of Malaysia is comprised of Indians, Chinese, Malays, and other communities. That is not good for the country. Every
Yes.
example out there of a country practicing ethnocentric policies has crumbled. The most recent example is, for example, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka used to practice ethnocentric policies for the longest time. Look at them now. You look at countries in the past like Uganda and all these countries that practice this sort of nationalistic ethnocentric policies, and they crumble. For a country to prosper, you need its people to act as that country's nationality. So I'm against all this questioning about Indian representation and all that. So what? We don't have a minister. We should be questioning policies. We should be saying, okay, how does this policy impact us? How do we participate? That should be the focus, I feel.
Yeah, you're right. I do agree with you to a certain extent, because you see, like what you mentioned just now, I could also see what our PM is trying to do, what PMX is trying to do. I wouldn't complain that, I wouldn't say that Indians are totally neglected. Okay. In this country, you see, just because Malays are majority, they are the majority people. Of course, there should be, you will also have more poor people, because they are the big number. So you will have, but at the same time, there are many doing very well.
Yes, definitely.
So we are the minority. So most of us should be doing well economically, financially. You see? So we cannot say that just because there's many Malays who are poor, we have to give more attention. They have everything. They have Bumiputra privileges, everything they have first. We don't have anything of that sort, if you really ask me. We only have Amanah Saham National, which we can invest. How much? You see? By right, minority should be doing better, because we are the small numbers. I think maybe because of our leaders. And as I think yesterday, one of your guests, Dr. Loga mentioned,
the PPP president.
Yes, Dr. Loga mentioned, he said, we need Indian speaking representative. Yeah, our minister.
No, but you see, just on that point, just to build on that point,
how can you understand the feeling, the culture? They don't speak English, they don't celebrate anything, they don't know anything. So, and the majority Indians, they are also Indians, but the majority are Tamil speaking. I'm just quoting on what Dr. Loga shared. Okay.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with to a certain extent as well, because here's my sort of thing on this. Why are we just focusing on the fact, okay, we must have one Indian minister in the cabinet to represent us? Why is that the focus? Because when we hear opposition talking, they will say that, for the past 60 years, MIC has failed. For the past, all this, everyone has failed to represent us and all that. But my idea, my point of contention here is that if you are saying that means having an Indian minister in cabinet didn't really matter. We are talking what leaders should focus on is that, okay, for example, if I could influence their decisions, I would ask, okay, what are we doing to expand the number of Indian businesses into foreign export markets? How are we taking Indian micro SMEs and building them up into small, medium enterprises? How are we getting more micro SMEs? Because remember, 90% of Indian businesses are micro business. How are we taking micro businesses into the SME sector? Another thing is that what is this? Another thing is that there was a recent study done by, not recent, but I think in 2011, 2012, a study done by some university. I can't remember. I think it's UKM or UUM. I can't remember. In that study, it showed that there is high disparity in intra-ethnic wealth distribution. That means within the Indian community, the T20 have most of the wealth. What are we doing about that? How do we disperse wealth more, what do you call this, evenly among our various income brackets? What are we doing to grow Indian businesses? So all this needs to be answered. I think the problem with the focus of, Indian minister and all this does not answer that. So what we need as a community is we need job makers. We need big companies within our community. We need to create economic multipliers among the Indian community. That must be the call of all Indians, and not just saying, oh, we don't have Indian leaders. So what? Policies are not, what we should focus on is policies. So I think that should be the whole focus of this. And I think focusing on the Indian minister, I think, does not answer our problems at all. That's just my feedback lah.
Yeah. Okay, I do agree. I mean, you are right in your own perspective, because you see, like say, policy is very important. But in our country, we have fantastic policies, but implementation is the question. Even in
So
our
that is
education.
where the Indian leaders come to. So that's where the Indian leaders should say, okay, we should question the government. Of course, we cannot expect the Madani MPs to do it. This is something people need to understand. When you are in government, you are unfortunately restrained by a code of conduct. You have a code of ethics. Even YB Rafizi recently brought it up, right? He said that now he's not a minister, he can talk. So we cannot expect them. But this is where the opposition MPs come in, opposition Indian leaders. Okay, you wanted this policy. Okay, now question, how many Indians have benefited from this policy? How many Indians have you benefited through this policy? That will keep the government on its toes by saying, okay, these guys want more Indian participation. Not going after these trivial matters. Focus on the big issues. That's how we're going to elevate our Indian community.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that answer. And I think like what I would like to share what Dr. Loga shared again. I really like that interview, because he says to understand, okay, when an Indian speaking, okay, just give me I'll give an analogy. When an Indian male and a female are in love, when they speak their own language, it is even far more beautiful. Far more beautiful than when an Indian male or female is in love with another language speaking person. It is only very shallow, Same like that. That's the analogy. What Dr. Loga mentioned. If an Indian speaking minister, he will, we have to make senses. You go down, meet the people, talk to them. So when you communication is so important, right? If you communicate, if you understand the language of the other, of course, we have many Indians who can speak English, but again, we still have many more people who can't understand good English, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going down to the people's life, especially like Tamil schools? Say our minister Govind goes to Tamil school. Is he going to speak in Malay? Is he going to speak in English? Why? It is a Tamil school. So how are they going to appreciate what he speaks? So so similarly to that, whatever policy we have, go by like what we see in our country. Malays are the majority. So Bahasa Malaysia, we have to make it Bahasa Kebangsaan, and government office we use Bahasa Malaysia, and everybody can speak Bahasa Malaysia. So when come to Indian community, majority are Tamil speaking. Even a Malayali can understand Tamil in Malaysia. Telugu can understand. Punjabi, most of them can understand. The older generation can speak. My foster parents are Punjabis. You see, they can speak and understand. I think many of us also, our audience can understand and speak Tamil. You see, so I think sometimes we got to hear what people want, the majority wants. Like in our country, majority are Malays, Muslims. The government listens to them, right? So similarly, in Indians, the minorities, they have their rights also. They can also demand for that, because they have their own reasons. But I do agree with whatever you shared. But unless, only a person who understands the other party can carry whatever the needs of the people to the government. And again, you see, like just now you mentioned about Siti Kasim. Siti Kasim, she knows how to relate. She knows the law. Yeah, she's more to a public person. But if you take Prabha into the picture, no background, yeah, no educational, no tertiary education, no, he's not a people's person. He just came to a position by luck, because things were not there, and he's learning. So when he's learning, that's where all this problem. You see?
No, but you see that
Most
just one
of
point.
them
You see, you
there
mentioned about
is
Gobind Singh, right?
senior politics. Yeah.
No, sorry. Just now you mentioned about Gobind Singh going to Tamil school, and I know Dato Loga brought up this point. You see, at the end of the day, we must understand that if a minister goes to a Tamil school, why are we asking the minister to speak in Tamil? Why can't the students be required to understand English or speak in English? A lot of the old Indians that I know, the older generation, you are included in this, doctor, you all can speak very good English and Tamil. You see, I have met a lot of Indian Tamil students, Tamil school students who can speak excellent English. Excellent. Okay, they are young. My English is average, but these guys, I went for an event recently. My God, I was blown away. No, I was blown away. Yeah, so I just think I understand that it is emotional and I guess a cultural point that we want an Indian minister, but I just think that where we are now as a community, I think our demands need to be bigger. They need to be louder and bigger, and
louder.
Louder and bigger. We need to ask for bigger things, and we need to really focus on move away a bit from these race issues and focus on how are we going to participate and grow.
Why I like to I shared this because we can't deny the fact that we have different races. That's the problem. If we have one race, it's easier from the beginning. If that has been like one Malaysia and we give everybody equal rights, then it will be different, like Singapore, right? But here we are three main races, and they are going by that. So what choice do we have? If you go to a Chinese school, do you think the minister will go there and speak Malay or English? The children don't know. They'll be dreaming. Yes, like what you said, we all speak
but
good English.
That is an indication of a bad education system.
Yes, of course. But because of the education system, these children, they might not understand well. So poor thing. So this is one of the reasons.
Tamil school students are very good, doctor. They are very good in STEM. I think this perception has to be very good students.
They win a lot of awards internationally.
Yes, but it's never covered, lah. Yeah.
Never covered, but they are doing very well. I know. They receive a lot of awards in science. Just can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Not even Kebangsaan, not even other schools. Indian students, Tamil school students are doing very well, So that's why I say they are brilliant. Well. Okay, dear, let's go to next, because very interesting. If you could change one policy, if we could change one policy to improve representation, what would it be? Our people. Wait 1 minute before that, dear audience, why we are focusing on Indians? Because we are really, I see Vinodh is really deep in it. He invites so many politicians, and we are talking how to improve the Indian life, because the Chinese and the Malay are well taken care of. Okay, Chinese, they take care themselves very well, and we Indians need help, okay, in many areas, and that's why we're focusing on Indian. Anyway, we are still very much Malaysians. Okay, we defend our people. If foreigners come in and attack our fellow Malay or Chinese friends, we will never allow that, because we know deep inside we are still Malaysians. Yes, please continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
No worries, doctor. So you're saying one policy to change, huh? Oh, that's a tough one. There are too many policies.
Is it? So maybe you can pick one, especially our Indians, to improve the representation.
I'll give you two lah. One, I think improve representation. I think that I do think that we need more Indian MPs and all that. But that's we already have 13. But I think the policy I don't have a issue with Indian representation in Parliament. I don't see the correlation of Indian representation in Parliament equates to more policies for Indians. I think we have to follow what the Prime Minister of the day wants, and the Prime Minister of the day's ideology will be the guiding light for parliamentarians. But one thing I would like to see enacted in Malaysia, especially our education system, is that I think it must be mandated that every student, regardless of race, religion, must learn English Bahasa,
Yes.
Mandarin, and Tamil.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is
Like
something that I am all for, because I think if you have every Malaysian speaking these 4 languages, you'd go a far way forward in terms of combating poor race relations, even racism. I think language, I think you see the thing is, once human beings, our makeup is that we fear the things that are unknown. So when you learn Tamil, for example, you will be indirectly or directly exposed to cultural nuances of the Tamil people. When you learn Mandarin, you will learn different aspects of the Chinese community. Same thing with Malay. That is why you see we all can get along very well with the Malays, because we all can speak their language. So we can communicate with them, right? But even for me, if I go to somebody and talk to them in English and they don't understand, immediately there's a problem, right?
yes.
So if everybody can speak Tamil and Mandarin, and then also you must understand a lot of in the past, when the issue of Tamil was brought up, the big question is, can we preserve the language? Okay, now say for example 2.75 million people in Malaysia can speak Tamil. With this, 32 million can speak Tamil. And actually, in actual fact, if there is a book people should read called What Your Teacher Didn't Tell You by Dr. Farishno. In
Yeah.
that book, he's a historian. He writes that Hang Tuah, we all know Hang Tuah for his warrior days, but he had a second episode to his life where he was more of an ambassador. And in that time, he could speak what they call as Bahasa Kalinga, so which was actually old form of Tamil. So and as we know, Tamil has a very ancient history in this part of the world, all over the world. They've even found Tamil inscriptions in I think some of the pyramids, if I'm not mistaken. So Tamil has a wide global reach in the past. So with this, I think it will go far to combat racism and improve race relations. That is one thing I would love to see done in our education system. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I would love that too. You see, like Indians, why we can get along with the Malays and the Chinese very well, because we take the initiative, we allow ourselves to learn their language. If we say
Yes.
no to it, every time we tatao, we will never learn anything. But we Indians,
Correct.
I see many of our Indians can speak Chinese. Bahasa,
Yeah.
of course, because we learn in school, and we can get along very well. So
Yeah.
likewise,
Yeah.
like if everybody can
And
speak each other's language, you know, then
yeah,
they should,
and also one thing, just to add to what I said earlier,
yeah,
people may think this is weird. Why are you talking 4 languages is too much? If you go to India, for example, it is very common to find people who can speak multiple languages.
at least five. Each person can speak at
Yes,
least five. I read from somewhere.
no,
Yes, dialects include.
not even India. Even when I back in my uni days, I had friends from different countries, and also one of my friends from Mauritius, he can
Yeah.
speak 4 languages. He can speak Hindi, English, Creole, and French. And
Yes.
so other nationalities across the world, learning languages is not a big deal. Here,
Yeah.
because of our racial politics, we feel that if we learn another person's language, we are sort of selling our soul a bit. We are sort of traitors to our own kind, so we
Yeah.
should break all this and open up our minds. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You're right, Vinod. I agree with you. Fantastic. Good answer. Shall we go to the next?
Let's go.
Yeah, I want to go to the repeat. I'm just waiting for
Oh.
that. I'm waiting for that. Okay, let's go to the next question first. But very
Yeah.
interesting. I know this will take a long time, but it's going to be, it's power pack. Okay,
Okay,
the
let's
audience
go, doctor.
will learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot from Vinod today. Would you
Ayo,
agree if I
doctor.
say most of the politicians? I'm not a politic. I'm not really keen. I don't really like too much politics, but I
Yeah.
like to know what's happening. That's all. So I don't know a lot of things. So we are all hearing from you. We are getting the message
You're
from
putting
you.
so much stress on me.
No, no, don't worry, don't worry. You know everything. So would
Ayo,
you
please,
agree?
doctor, don't say that.
You know why? Because we have been conducting all these interviews with all these politicians. You're already ready to go into politics now. Okay. Would you agree if I say most of the politicians forget that they are supposed to serve the people? Okay. Practicing servant leadership, serving the needs of the people rather than putting themselves above the people right after the election. Before the election, they are so accessible. They go to door. They are so sweet. After After the election, suddenly become so busy, suddenly they are becoming very invisible, suddenly wearing crown, they become like,
Yeah.
oh, you cannot access to me, I'm so high.
Yeah.
They think they are high on their heads because I just don't understand why they suddenly become like this. So never return calls, never return tags. This is a complaint from generally from the people, and I myself have experienced a lot because
Mm.
although I'm not involved in politics, but because of my social works and all, I have been dealing with many MPs and all that since high school. So,
Okay.
the politicians then and now are two very, very different. Okay. And
Okay.
then also, see, instead of assisting the people, they have secretaries and all that who follow up, can follow up. If they're busy, yeah, we know they are busy. They have secretaries, they have other office assistants to follow up, to give the
Yeah.
feedback or to assist to the needs, to see to the needs of the people. Why? They become so unethical. They forget the people who gave them the position. The seat was given by the people. Huh? By the people,
Exactly.
even the salary given by people, even the perks and benefits they are enjoying given by the people, even the respect, before this they were nobody at all. But people are the one who gave everything. But why are you treating people like this? This is my
Mm.
question. So what do you think they should do? Sorry,
Well,
it's
you're
not a long question, but I'm just putting forth
no,
generally my
fair enough.
opinion.
It's a good question. But I think that there's a few problems here. I think number one is I think there are MPs out there, although it's a small number, but there are MPs who are very focused on the ground. Okay, there are.
Very
Uh,
few.
uh, like for example, like we YB Hilman. I forgot what's his name, but he's on the PN side, and
Oh,
he's always on the ground. There's few DAP guys and all that. Now, but of course, it's a small number. I get what you're saying, and I do agree with it. Now, here's the problem. The problem in Malaysia is that number one, we as voters do not embrace the power that we have. We need to stop thinking that in democracy they are our bosses. In democracy, it is we who are the boss. You work
yes.
for me. That is democracy. It's the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay, so the people are supposed to be the priority here. Now, second thing is Malaysians cannot give up or stop participating in democracy after they cast their vote. This is the problem. After they cast the vote, we just walk away. We say, okay lah, now it's your turn. We voted for you. You do. We must consistently keep these leaders in check by having strong opinions and celebrating their successes and being very, very critical when they make a mistake. So, like one mistake, of course, that people always say, I think this was shown, if I'm not mistaken, I think in Permatang Pao when Nurul Izzah lost. One of the comments by people on the ground was after she had won, they couldn't see her, and that they can't meet her. So she lost. So this habit must be repeated. We must repeat this. That means when we elect someone, we give them a chance. And we
Yes.
have to accept they may do well or they may do bad. If they do bad, vote them out. And then we publicly say, look, we didn't vote for you because you didn't show up, you weren't there, blah, 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 blah. So this must be our continuous focus. You are absolutely right. As a leader, you must be on the ground, you must be there, especially you're an MP, right?
Yes.
I know MPs who, after they have made a lot of blunders, they suddenly, you can see them very active on the ground because they're trying to win support, right? They're trying to win
Yes.
support, they want to be there and all that. But okay, so we can commend them for doing that, but again, it's down to us. We as the people must always be very strong participants in democracy. Otherwise, this problem will continue to happen. That is why now you see a lot of this propaganda being thrown, because the greater the divide between people and the politicians, the better for the politicians, the better.
Yeah, both parties are going to go down,
Yeah,
right?
so but if we are not bothered, then we are not bothered. Like for example, you see one of the biggest concerns for the next general elections is the party tak undi. These are the people who won't come out to vote. no matter how disappointed you are with the government or with the party you chose, you still have to come out and vote. Your ballot is your basically your report card for these guys. If you don't
Yes.
come out and vote and you don't participate actively, then how will they learn? And how
We
see
might have the same
politicians?
government again. Yeah.
Correct. So correct. So, but even then, you see, like these politicians rely on the people's opinions. They watch what the people are saying, because at the end of the day, politics is about votes, right? If you're not going to vote for me, then I'll lose. So it's political survivalism. So because of that, now we have greater power, because they are more careful about what they say or how they appeal to us. So we must have a very strong moral compass. We must be very committed to this is what we want. Okay, for example, if you are talking racial politics, no, we are against it, voice it out. And when come voting day, you have to vote them out. So if you feel that they don't participate in their daily activities, if they are not involved in the in say the daily in the people's in their constituency, then you have to voice out. So I think the reason for this, if it's happening, if you have faced it, is because of the people have not come out and really voiced out and really shown their opinion during voting day. Because like I said, we are the boss.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic answer. Fantastic. Okay. Now we move to another area, which is social challenges. We'll talk about that.
Sure.
What are some of the biggest challenges the Indian community in Malaysia facing today in terms of social mobility, education, financial, and business opportunities? Is it too much? You may jot down. First, mobility, education.
Okay, so let's talk about the problems, right? These problems have actually been highlighted in the Malaysian Indian Blueprint. The Malaysian Indian Blueprint is actually a very fantastic document that was made by, I think it was first published by MIC, and then Najib sort of republished it, but using some of the main tenets in the Malaysian Indian Blueprint. Now, according to the blueprint, 45% of B40 Indian students, young kids, have no access to preschool education. Okay, so that means when these kids go into the standard schooling system, they start at a disadvantage, because they don't have proper vocabulary as well as what do you call that, numeracy, right? So this is the problem. Okay, now before I continue, I also want to make it a clear thing that I think that we as Indians must highlight this. We hear a lot of this statement, the problems with the Indians. Let's be very clear here. Every community has problems in their community. We have to be very clear. Indians are not when we say the problems with Indians, the image we are projecting is that every Indian got problem. No. Lot of, like we said earlier, right? Every Indian is successful. So I want to be very clear with that to people, whoever is
listening. Very, very rich people here. Rich Indian.
Very, very rich. Very, very rich, right?
I experienced one occasion where the floor was open, that time I was still a student. I was invited by my lecturer to a grand Indian dinner where all scholars are there.
Yeah.
The moment they mentioned, please pledge for it, there's a donation for some purpose, I forgot for what. The amount of them came forth to donate, and the amount they collected was really huge. That's the time I saw, wow, there's so many rich Indians in Malaysia, but they are very quiet.
They don't participate.
They don't
because
participate.
They don't. That is why. So that is a problem, I think. And I think during Najib's government, I think they were trying to address it by creating preschools in Tamil schools. So it will act as a natural feeder to the school, as well as give people preschool. And I've been to some of these schools, and I've seen some of these preschools. They're great. The kids are really fun, and they can really they're quite well on their way. So that's one issue that we need to address. But of course, after the fall of Najib's government under Datuk Kamarnathan, who was heading this effort, it has been stop-start. Okay?
Yes.
Another issue is, I think the problem is when it comes to businesses. You talked about mobility. That's very true. As I mentioned earlier, I think we have a severe intra-ethnic disparity in terms of the distribution of wealth. So you need to have different sections of your community with a sizable portion of the wealth in your community for the entire community to grow. There is a huge portion of it with the T20s, and even the M40s, B40s don't have. And this is the big difference between us and the Chinese and the Malays. The Chinese and the Malays are more equal in their distribution. So that's one. When it comes to business, 90% of Indian businesses are in the micro SME sector. So we have to find a way to create mobility within that, to promote micro SMEs into small and medium businesses. This must be there. So that is why I say once,
Vinodh, our MPs are our voice. Our MPs are ministers are the voice in the parliament. So,
but you see, they wouldn't do anything because you see, the unfortunate thing about modern day politics is, in modern day politics, it's about political survivalism. So it's about, it's about surviving, right? And if you look at, in this matter, the people who should actually be blamed are the opposition Indian leaders. The opposition Indian leaders are stuck with issues like Mitra, Silambam, right? These are issues. I'm not saying they are not, but what about the other issues? You have to focus on them as well. Once they voice this thing out, and they really voice it out, right, then the Indian MPs in Madani have to take notice. Now, if we look at, for instance, another thing also, another stakeholder in this group that is a bit is causing this is our Indian people themselves. They would rather focus on issues like Silambam, Tamil school, temples. These are the issues. You are not stressing your MPs to say, hey, what about our earnings? What about our business? What are you doing there? How are you promoting Indian businesses to other markets, other countries? For example, like, have any Indian leaders questioned Mart and said, okay, can you come up with a list of how many Indian companies you have helped to grow their presence globally? How many? Have we asked this question? No. But we will ask Mitra, okay, we need a list of the allocation who you gave. Hey, come on, man. That's just 100 million. What about the billions that could be made by the Indian community if we were present in, say, businesses present in 5-6 countries? Why isn't any Indian questioning what are our business chambers doing? What have they done? Okay, show me your proof. What have you done to promote Malaysian businesses across different countries? What have you done? Never us. But we will stick to Temple, Tamil school, and now, these sort of, they are important. Yes, I admit, I'm not saying they are not important, but there are graver issues at hand. So I think this should be the focus. For example, RMK 13. I think the opposition, I think it's Takiuddin, YB Takiuddin, passed. He said, you are building, you have set aside money for Kampung Baru, China. What about Indians? And of course, some of the Indian MPs, Indian leaders from the Perikatan side were very happy. Oh, look, the Malay fella talking about us. But hey, that's not the right way. You should be asking, as a leader, look, let's focus on the big fish. Why are we focusing? You see, let's be fair, if we have more job makers in our community, if we have more global businesses, we have more ability to sustain ourselves because we have big companies within us who can sustain our community. Don't you think our cultural activities, our schools will all benefit?
Yes.
I know, if you watch my interview with Dr. Siva, he said he was at Batu Caves when he wanted to raise funds for Tamil school. He said he wanted to sell Indian calendar for 1 ringgit, or a calendar for 1 ringgit, and he wanted to raise 150,000. That year, there were 1.5 million Indians at Batu Caves. He only raised 5,000. Who's to blame? Can we blame the MPs? No, what? It's your choice as an Indian what you contribute your money to. The Chinese, one thing about the Chinese, they contribute money to school. Yes. They believe that it's a cultural thing for them. For them, they believe it's a good luck thing. Do we do it? Yeah. No. Then you'll complain. No. Oh, this MP didn't do his job. Do you think the Chinese schools are waiting for MOE? They're not waiting for MOE. Yeah. They have associations that have raised hundreds of millions. This is the one recently when I think they got a sponsorship from Carlsberg or Tiger or something, and then they were stupid enough to show the banner, which is quite stupid. Like, see, that's their stupidity. But you have all these people; they are taking matters in their own hand for their community. Why aren't we doing it? So our mentality also has to change. Enough of this blame. You are wrong. You are wrong. Do it.
Do it.
Another thing is, there is a book that I always quote. It's by Russell Brand. It's called Revolution. In that book, he writes this one very beautiful line. He says, if you don't select your heroes will be selected for you. Okay. In the
Yes.
Indian community, we are so afraid of looking up to these successful businessmen, our past politicians or past leaders and all that, and learning from them and being inspired from them. We don't want. You see,
Ah,
you must look at this fella, look at the foreigner, look at the Chinese, look at the. Hey, what
yeah,
about our own people? We have
yeah.
great people. So the
Great people.
sense of self must be there. So we need a strong sense of self. We need a very strong sense of self. We need to also understand that our problems are our own. We have to solve it. If if we go by what is said by parties like MIPP and all, who keep on saying that 60 years MIC did nothing, which is wrong. Like MIC actually did do a lot. Actually, it's just that this is a political game, and of course, the opposition
Yeah,
will always try to think. But
yeah,
okay, you say politicians have done nothing. Now we have MPs from, our Indian leaders from the opposition saying, all these Indian MPs don't do anything. Okay, if nobody does anything, now it's time for you to take the problem into your own hand. That's why
yeah.
I keep saying on many episodes, I said it's time to privatize the solution. That's what must be done. We Indians
Mm,
must say, okay, this Tamil school got problem, never mind, we'll go and bill. We'll raise the funds and bill ourselves. What's so wrong?
yes.
So I think these are
I
all
think
the big problems.
yes. I tell you, the problem with our Indian communities are no unity, no
Yeah,
unity, no support, not supporting each other. That's the main problem. If we can unite, work together well, and support our own people, we don't have to seek from others. You see,
exactly.
we will,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can do a lot of things together. So we uh, we made our own problem. We created our own problem a lot of time.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see, like what you
absolutely.
mentioned just now. Again, I would like to track back to what you mentioned just now. Why are we focusing on Silambam, on temple issues? I think we are Indian, are very deeply cultured people. Okay, whether you're educated or not, really highly educated, we are very cultured people. We are not like others who don't care about it. What to do? We are brought up like that. Okay, uh, but again, I'm very sure most of them who make noise about this thing, about temple, about Silambam, are all like nominal Indians. Huh? We don't have all successful businessmen, very highly educated Indians alone. We also have normal people like
Yeah.
other communities. But in Indians, they are very close. They are very deeply emotional people. They believe in
Mm.
culture, respect, and all that. So they still go for that. Like I do agree, like what you say, we have to change our mindset and look into bigger picture. How are we going
No,
to come out?
yeah.
And we need leaders to guide us because we know there's a problem. So what the leader should do, work on this. If
No,
everybody
even
work,
even today, I just give one more example, just to see where our Indian leaders are lacking, both
yeah,
opposition and the ones here. So I
please.
interviewed today Mr. Deacom. Deacom is from DAP. He is also one of the people who are behind the Malaysian Indian Skills Initiative. It's an initiative to reskill Indians under Talent Corp. Okay. Now, why Missy has never, it's not been criticized by the opposition is because they are actually doing good. So they are a
Oh,
train and place. So they train people and then they place you. Okay. So this year, apparently their goal is to place 500 people, Indians, right? Now, this is a good program. Okay. Whether you're
oh,
opposition or government is a good program, right? I see. Usually in Malaysian style, when there is a change in government,
uh-huh.
most of the cities will be re-looked at and some will be swept away. Okay. There'll be change because new guy comes in, wants to do it his way and all that. So I asked this Dikam, I said, why don't you Indian leaders in Pakatan or in Madani meet the prime minister and urge him to make this a permanent fixture under Talent Corp, which is a government agency. So the government agency, it will be there. It's not going to change. But make MISI a consistent thing. Why aren't the Indian opposition guys saying the same? Okay, let's make MISI. We want the prime minister to make MISI a permanent fixture. That means no prime minister can change it. It will always be under Talent Corp. It will always get a certain number of allocation from the budget. Why not? Right?
I know.
Because if you look at one of the problems in our Indian community, why in the past, once a lot of estates were sort of changed or sold or whatever, it left a good portion of people who were not reskilled. They were not
Yeah.
rehabilitated for the new Malaysia, right? So that led to crime, that led to drug dependence, alcoholism, and all that, right? So that was problem. So now when you're reskilling these guys and you're giving and you're reskilling them to more popular industries that have a strong need, you are changing lives. Whether it's 100 or 200 or 500, it's a good thing. So this is what I mean. Indian leaders, stop focusing on all these small issues. You protest, right? Go to parliament and protest and say, I want this to be gazetted. This Misi
Exactly.
must be forever. Then you are really contributing to the development of the people, not by
Yes.
trivial issues, or it won't. So for
But they are
me,
not doing it. They are not doing it.
yeah,
That's
not doing it.
very disappointing. Disappointing.
Yeah.
Like I said, like this country, uh, if you depend on somebody, then it is going to be very difficult. But
Yes.
as Indians, you are intelligent. God given you good brain, heart, good body. We are strong people. If you work on your own, I believe all Indians can succeed, especially with the
Definitely.
support of another fellow Indian. Okay, we don't need support of others. We don't have to look to, because I myself experience it. In my industry, I'm a telco consultant for the past 16 years. I'm the only Indian, only lady leading in this industry, and nobody can do my work.
Mm, mm,
Until today,
mm.
I'm a problem solver between Telecom Malaysia and the property developers. So how can you say I'm the leading Indian? I work on my own from
Yes.
zero, and
Yeah.
nobody stopped me from earning. I earn simply, my first payment after first project. One project is 30, 40, 50,000 sometimes. You see? So what is stopping me? Who is stopping me? So every
Mm.
Indian, you can work. Nobody supported me, not even my own family. They say, why you are so highly educated? Why are you, going on your own, and why you want to suffer? My family didn't support me because they don't want to see me suffering. They said I
Mm.
deserve a nice sitting in the office doing nice thing. I did everything and I succeeded. Until today, nobody can take over my place. It's a passive
Mm.
income for me. So why can't Indian come up in life? Why do we have to
Yeah.
depend on people? Our only problem is lack of unity and support. If we
Yeah.
tackle this, if we tackle this, we will be better than others, the other two groups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. We have all the
I'm very
capabilities.
keen. Yeah. So among all these mobility, educational, financial, and business opportunities, which one you think the most? Which challenge do you think the most urgent right now? I think for Indians all. We
I
need
would
to
say
have
no.
education.
I would say finance, but then again, all of it is connected, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
study, you got a good degree, then you'll be able to get a job. Like
And
what
you have
Sami Velu wanted.
better mobility. And you have
Yes,
better
I
mobility.
correct, and I agree with Tun Samiru, the late Samiru, who said that he had his
Yes.
policy of one house, one graduate. I think that's a very good thing. I think we should bring back. But again, I know I think a lot of Indian households now have graduates, more than one lah. So I think
More
it's we
than
are
one, my own family,
more than one.
more than
Yeah.
one,
So most of
and
my
my children, all
yeah.
three are graduates. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean, my family, everyone's a graduate, so I don't think that's a
graduate.
problem. But I think if I had to pick the most urgent one, I think it will be business. I think business will be the one that really guides us forward, because once you create big businesses, you create big companies that can hire Indians, then we become a very self-sustaining community. I think that's the key for me. Like for example,
Yeah.
like I think Indians should, visit the thing about demanding that, not demanding, but working towards having our own bank.
Yes,
The
exactly.
Chinese have it, Malays have it. Why can't we? So, yeah, I think that should be the focus, lah.
Yeah,
Business.
okay. Okay, so now unity within the community, I think we have discussed quite a bit. So now, shall we go to break rapid fire?
Sure,
I want
sure.
to give you some light moment. It's been very heavy from just now. Yeah, right.
Hope not too heavy for the yeah, yeah.
Time to spice up our coffee chat.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
let's
go.
come into a quick rapid round. Uh, you can elaborate a bit if you need short answers. No
Okay.
overthinking. You can think. You can Need not overthink. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. What fuels your day? Coffee, tea, or wife? You're going to laugh. Coffee, tea, or wife?
What fills my day?
What fuels? Fuels.
Oh, fuels.
Fuels your day.
Uh,
Coffee, tea, or wife? Since you are married, I'm
I'm
asking you this.
I'm going to say
Never
wife lah,
mind, just
because she
okay.
may be watching this. So yeah, wife.
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 Yes, she's your inspiration. Why I ask you this? I wanted to mention why, because this, not because I want to hear from you, because I want every wife to know whatever problem you have, morning, smile to your partner.
Hmm.
You know,
This,
smile to
I,
your
I
partner.
hope my
Before
wife's
bed,
watching. Can I
smile
send
to
this to
your
her?
partner. Yeah. Before you go to bed, smile. Make up. And when you wake up, smile. You don't have to open your big mouth, smile. Okay. Like
Yeah.
how you kiss your child in the morning, how you kiss your child, how you embrace your child, hug your child, and you kiss your child. Do the same to your husband. He's also your child. So
Exactly,
a
man.
brother.
Yeah, more loving, more
Yes,
loving.
right.
Yeah,
Simple. You see, people complicate life. People
that's true.
complicate life. Life is
Yeah,
so easy, you know. Do what you want others to do to you. Treat them the same
exactly,
way. That's why I purposely
exactly.
asked you this question. I want you to answer wife, and you got it.
Yes,
Congratulations.
of course I'm
So,
gonna answer wife.
yes, of course, a wife should be. If a man did not mention wife from the heart or so, then wife is a failure for you. You fail
Yeah. But to
life.
be fair, my wife also then goes on to make me coffee in the morning, so that's nice. So I guess I get both if I choose wife. Perfect. So
Yes, yes. She must make you coffee. She must give you at least a simple breakfast. Make sure that you dress well. Yes, wives, they have very heavy responsibility, but once in a while,
they
you
do,
can't do it every day. Iron his
they do.
clothes. Make him look good.
Yes,
Man is your image. Just like how the
amen,
man
brother.
feels. Very much Indian men feel their wife is their crown. Okay? So
Yeah.
Indian men are very good, very romantic. They always think that their wife is their crown. So wife, don't fall
My
from
wife is
your
going to be asking, "What do you mean romantic?"
yeah. No,
My
no,
wife will be
no.
asking you about the romantic thing. That part I need to be better, lah. But anyway,
You see, it works both ways. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, both sides. If the man is not romantic, let the woman be romantic.
Fair enough.
Yeah. If the
I'm going to
woman
use
is so
that in my
romantic,
next
then the man
argument with my
will
wife.
initiate. Okay. That's why I say simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you'll be surprised to see your partner. Wow, you had been such a romantic person. I didn't discover all this. Yeah, you didn't try.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next one. Do you like the first question? I think you like, yeah?
Yeah,
So if,
nice. Keep it going.
if you could have coffee with any Malaysian political leaders, past, present, who would it be? You just want to have
Ooh,
a
that's a
coffee.
very good question. Coffee with so pass. So that means three. I pick three. Is it?
Anything, up to you, past or in the present. I know
That's a
you have too
tough one,
many.
man.
Tough
Yeah,
one,
that's a
very, very
tough
tough.
one.
Never mind, just for the show, you can mention anybody. No hard feelings here. If you ask me, I will say Syed Sadiq.
Shahid Sadiq. Okay. I
Because
don't
I'm
think he'll
Buddha
want to have
Manta,
coffee.
I'm a Buddha Manta in politics. But I like Syed Sadiq because he dared to open his mouth and
Yeah.
what he does. No money, I will find money. He
Hmm.
pledged his life for the people, which none have done. So, how about you?
Uh, I think this is an old one, but I would like to have coffee with Dato' On Jafar. Dato' On Jafar is the
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
who founded UMNO. So him, definitely him.
yeah. Great, great, great. Wow, very carefully selected. Good.
No,
Congratulations.
but no, because you asked past, right? So past, present. I think present. I would like to have coffee with two people if possible. Prime
Correct.
Minister and Najib, preferably together.
Oh, our Prime Minister.
Yeah,
And you both can go for MGR dance together.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's good at that. I think he's Indian also, right? His
yeah. I
ancestors
mean,
are Indian.
most of them
Okay,
are. I mean, this. Yeah.
Yeah, most of Malaysians, Malaysia, they are not from here actually. It's all mixture of all rojak,
Mixture. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Two words to describe an Indian community in Malaysia. What would you say about Indian community in Malaysia? Can be positive.
Two words.
I think we prefer positive than negative. Okay, negative is everybody has negative. Two words to describe Indian community in Malaysia. What do you think Indians
High
should be
potential.
acknowledged? High
High
potential.
potential.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Another one?
Oh, another one. Oh, two words or what?
Two,
Two.
two, two, two.
High potential and very capable.
Very capable. Yeah. You see, if you want to know about Indian, just look at India. Look at India, how diplomatic they are,
Hmm.
how intelligently they resolve. They never want to go for a fight. They never condemn people no matter how bad they are. These are Indians, you know, you see. So these are Indians. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to know Indians, look at India, how India carries itself throughout the world. How people respect today, you see.
yeah, yeah.
Potential, yeah. So okay,
Potential. Yeah.
next, if you weren't a content creator, what would you be doing right now?
I think I would be in business. That would be my thing. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll be running a
business, that's
business.
good.
Yeah,
Yes, obviously, you married Chinese, you can't run away from that.
have to be. Yeah, have to make the
Yeah,
money.
yeah, maybe because my father also can speak Chinese. He mix a lot of in Chinese, and I from young. It's not because anything. I love Indians. Okay, I always my first priority are Indians. Okay, my people. But
Yeah,
I had no problem with Chinese. That's where And I see, yeah, good. That's why maybe I went into business. I do business with Chinese. One end is Chinese, my property developers, and the other end are Malays. So I don't see there's any problem. Yes. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Great answer. Uh, Politics or lifestyle content? Which one would
Politics,
you enjoy creating? Politics. Yeah, I expected that
politics,
answer.
politics.
Fantastic, fantastic.
No,
I want to,
yeah, yeah, politics are politics. Yeah, because I
yeah, I
have
want
other
to see.
podcasts as well. But yeah, politics. Yeah.
Oh, is it okay? I would like to see you in standing for election next in PRO system. Okay, and I
Too
vote
soon,
for you.
too soon.
You know,
Thank
please
you.
don't
I
forget
have one
me.
vote now. Perfect.
Okay. If I can vote two, I'll put two for you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Would you send your girls to Chinese school? What? No, nothing
Yeah,
against sending to Chinese school. I would like to share why also. It's nothing wrong. But
no,
why?
yeah,
I'm not a
I am. I mean, I am because my wife's Chinese. So when we got married, I told her that we are both from very proud cultures. Being Indian, I'm very proud of my Indian. My wife's very proud being Chinese as well. I said so. I don't want my children to grow up having to choose one. They should enjoy both. So while they go to Chinese school, it's important for them to know different languages as well. And but I also have planned other activities for them to mingle with Indians and learn Indian things, cultures as well, like our dances and all that kind of stuff. Language as well, because I'll be learning Tamil very soon because I have to, and I think
better.
I would like to
You
do
better.
content in Tamil.
You
Yeah, yeah,
better. Tamil is a beautiful
it
language.
is,
As I told
it
you just
is.
now, a female and a male in love is nothing like Tamil songs or Hindi songs or your own. Very romantic, very
Yeah,
romantic.
so
But
I have to do it.
I had a Chinese boyfriend also before. It doesn't mean that I'm not Indian.
Yeah,
I had a
exactly.
Chinese
Yeah,
boyfriend
exactly.
before.
Yeah,
So Indian Tamil is beautiful language. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
What would you want your daughters to be after school or uni? Why? What do you like to see them in, become in future? What is your dream? Nothing. What they're going to be, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
what is your dream for your girls? Because you have beautiful three girls, right? I've never
Hmm.
seen them, but girls are always very beautiful.
I jokingly, not jokingly, but I think I do. I would like them to all be ministers. I think that is something I've always wanted.
Wow, Indian and Chinese blood milk mix. Oh my God. They
Yeah,
will
they have
make
two
the
vote banks, right? They can access. So yeah, I think
yeah,
they should
yeah,
be
yeah.
ministers.
That's why. Very smart answer. Very smart strategy, very
Yeah, yeah,
smart.
yeah. That's why I made the podcast. Now they know the the father politics.
You
Yeah,
are a
yeah. I would like my
strategy
children to be ministers.
ministers. Good, good. I like that. I like that. Okay. Okay. Finally, if your coffee today could represent your personality, would it be a strong espresso, a sweet latte, or a smooth cappuccino? And why you choose strong
It's very hard for
espresso?
me to answer this question
Why?
because I've never had espresso in my life. I've never had cappuccino in my life. Never
Oh,
had.
okay.
I'm a
But let me tell you, okay, espresso cappuccino is a bit bitter. If you're a smoker, you would love it. But as for me, I
okay.
always like latte. Latte is
Okay.
not so strong. You see, so you better go to
Latte is with milk, right?
yeah, with milk.
Okay.
I'm a milk
Okay.
fan. Milk
Okay.
fan.
Of course.
And okay, so you better try one of this, or maybe all three of it. Okay, so okay,
I
next.
think in that case I'll go with a strong espresso since it has the word strong in it. I think I'll go with that because
Okay,
honestly, every
together.
morning I have normal coffee, like I like the coffee with milk that we know that we have. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think you should go for strong espresso because this will make you um, be a stronger interviewer, a podcaster.
Yeah.
Okay,
More bitter
wow,
questions.
yeah, yeah, more bitter questions to uh, awaken a lot of slumbering spirits,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
Indian spirits. They are good, but they are slumbering. This sometimes I get agitated. Why can't you
Mm.
think for your own people? Rattam kodikkudu, the blood. Why?
Wow.
Yes, to see, our people are not helping, doing enough. Okay, doing enough. Okay, that's all I will say. Okay, wow, it was really fun, Vinod. Thank you for
Thank
playing
you so
along.
much.
I think our listeners just got to see the whole new and better side of you, and I saw the better side of you. Okay, now let's
Yeah.
go back to the questions, can we? Because I have
Sure,
some
sure,
more
sure,
interesting questions. Okay,
sure.
let's talk about education. Education is
Okay.
often okay. Before that, can I ask you how long can we use this StreamYard? Is it unlimited? Sorry to ask you. I've never tried more
Are
than.
you using the paid one?
Yes.
Then it's unlimited. I think you can go however long you want. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. Okay.
No worries.
Because I never conducted more than an hour. But anyway,
No
today
problem.
you
Now
this
we've
is
passed. We've already 1 hour 20 minutes. So you've
yeah,
passed. So
yeah.
no worry. Yeah.
Education is often seen as key to progress. What
Yes.
are some education reforms or initiatives you believe could uplift the Indian community, especially underprivileged? Indians give high priority to education and they would do anything to get their children to do well. I repeat, education is often seen as a key to progress. What are
Yeah.
some educational reforms or initiatives you believe could uplift the Indian community, especially the underprivileged?
Okay. So first thing is, I think it's already been done. The mandating of students to young kids must go to preschool. That's very good. I think that's fantastic. So that's a big problem for us. I think especially for the poorer communities across Indian Malays and all that. I think schools, number one, I would like to see, number one, the return of national exams like UPSR and all that. I don't think PT3 is a good idea, but I've never liked that idea. But UPSR and all that is a good idea. I think education in total, especially in secondary school, should be a bit more flexible and fluid, meaning that if you are a science stream student, I don't know how the system is now. I don't keep up to, I've not, long time since I left
Yeah,
school. But I think if people should study again the cluster of subjects that they teach students. So, for example, uh, I think financial literacy must be a key focus. So, regardless of whether you're in the art stream or science stream, you must learn financial literacy in one way or form, maybe or another. I think passing your English must be a requirement if you want your SPM certificate. We know we do BM as well, but it must be BM and English. I think English literacy is very important. I think in one way or another, reading must be emphasized much more in our education system, because that is something that is very important to really expand the mind. I think that's true thing. That's for secondary level. I know this may not sound nice, but I believe that we should have a national school system for all. I think we should. I'm not such a fan of vernacular school systems. I think vernacular school systems are something of the past. They are a souvenir from the British colonial period, and we should
Yes.
have one government system for everyone. And we should also, like I said earlier, we should have mandated, like for Indian students, they must learn Tamil. For Chinese, they must learn Mandarin, so that you preserve your local culture as well, of different cultures. And they must sit for the exam in SPM and all that kind of stuff. So UPSR or SPM, whatever. So that thing is there. I think we should focus more how we grade a student also by their activities in sports. We must encourage them to be active in sports. I think today's world, we tend to forget that we are very academic centric, very grade
Yes.
centric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially
Uh,
Indians.
yeah, and we should
Indians.
focus on sports and all that. So one reform on that level is that I think they should do away with all this. They should really go down hard on institutions that are very racist in terms of their selections in sports or academics. That is one reform enforcement that must be there. In terms of career choice, I think there must be certain points in a student's life when they are able to assess their own career choices or which career paths they want to go to. For example, if I want to go a more vocational route, I want to go TVET, or I want to go science, or we should really identify talents among our students and funnel them to different areas. I think that's very important, so that we have a more better matching of students and their skills. I think in the
Yeah.
university level, the first reform I would like to see is that the government must come down very hard on public universities that
Mm.
prioritize private students, meaning students who pay. So that's a big problem now, where public universities are prioritizing private students. I mean, this can be local students who are willing to pay, private higher fees at the expense of students who actually do well and they can't get a seat. I think they should remove the quota system from universities and focus on merit. I think quota system should not be practiced in universities at all. Uh,
Okay.
and uh, and students must be learn how to compete from a young age, because when you go out into the real world now, you will have to compete, and you're
Yes.
competing in a very globalized arena. You are fighting not just with Malaysians, you are competing with foreigners as well, so you have to have that competition spirit. So I think these are
Nice.
the reforms I would like to see there as well.
Great. Okay, actually, we have many more, but I'm not going to do all because your answers are long and very interesting. Long
Oh,
answers that
sorry, I'll keep it shorter.
no, no,
Sorry.
it's okay. No, 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 no. Please don't. It's okay. We can always have another day when you are available.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because I think this is all very important for the. No point we do podcast which is useless. So we want people to know. We want to support people, and people learn from us, and we learn from people as well. I'm also learning from you. Okay, one last question before we close. Okay, is it true? Because a lot of Indians now we see Indians and Malays, especially Malays. Most of the Malays in our country are sending their children to Chinese school because
Mm,
of the quality of education system in our normal national school is very bad. I,
mm,
I I don't blame them, but again, our Indians from those days, some of them are very keen to send their children to Chinese school. When you ask them, I have
mm.
one case in my family also. I witnessed. Most of my examples are true experiences. Okay, so when you ask them why you send the child to Chinese school, because the Chinese speak Mandarin with their child since baby. you know
Mm.
they talk to them in Mandarin. Everything is Mandarin. They would speak to the child. So by the time the child goes to the preschool or primary school, the vocab is so good. But how about our children? We speak our own native language at home. you know, our child is not exposed to Mandarin at all. English, yes, most of the Indian children, they can understand, they can speak English, but not Mandarin. Because I have encountered this in my I had preschool, I had tuition centers, you know, at every level I've taught. So I see real life example how it's affecting this child. So
Okay.
do you think that there can be a child's success, okay, depends on being proficient in Chinese or Mandarin, especially in job market and business? Because I see children, you know, I have cases, children, they come for my tuition classes, okay, standard one. The child in Chinese school, many I've seen, primary one and also secondary one. These are true life examples, okay? Two samples I will take. The primary one student comes to tuition, doesn't know how to read even Bahasa well, English well, okay? Chinese worse. So I asked the child, why are you doing so bad in maths? Why can't you do? One kind to understand. The child said, no, teacher, I don't understand. I don't understand what's the teacher talking. Same thing happened to my nephew who can use laptop, mouse when he was 2 years old, two plus, I think. He can use. I taught him to use. He can use. Such a brilliant fellow. He wants to go for tuition before he goes to the preschool. But when he went to the preschool, my sister said the area there's no Indian operated tadika where they have English as well. So she sent to the Chinese tadika. Okay, and my nephew is one of them. So whenever I go back to my hometown, I make it a point, I'm very close to my nephew and nieces. I make sure that I go and pick him from school. So when I was at the school waiting for him, I was looking at all the works where the teachers pasted on the board. So I couldn't find any of his. He can do maths, he can do English, Bahasa, all very well before he goes to school, preschool. But I don't see any of his works. So I asked him, when I was walking back, I asked him, Arvind, what happened? Why I didn't see any of your work? You didn't do? He said, no, auntie, I don't understand what the teacher's talking. You know?
Okay.
Then I went back, asked my sister, why did you send to the Chinese Tadika? You see, such a brilliant fellow can't understand anything. This will, you know, the child will suffer. The child don't know how to tell it to you. The child will suffer inferior complexity, emotionally affected. A smart one feels that, oh, I'm not good at that tender age. You see? So I told my sister, you are changing. And today he's an accountant with Great Eastern. Today he is an accountant. Same thing happened. Even the parents tell me, I asked the parents, why did you put him in Chinese school where he doesn't understand? Why don't you change him to national school at least? Teacher said, no, let him learn language. But the teacher told me to change to Kebangsaan school, but I didn't. And again, I tell one more thing. I know how to speak Chinese, but I wasn't successful. I'm not a leading person in my business, successful in my business because I can speak Mandarin or any other dialect. No, none of my directors I deal with ask me to write in English, Chinese or speak in Chinese to them. Huge developers, name it. All the huge developers in KL are my clients. Name it. But they never speak to me in Chinese. They never ask me to write in Chinese. But I'm successful until today. I'm not boasting. This is a real life story. So why are you all torturing? Nothing wrong in learning another language. If you can speak more than 3 languages, become more brilliant. That's why Indians are smart. So it's nothing wrong, you know, to send your child to learn Chinese. No, I'm not against because I myself for Chinese. But why do you have to send to a Chinese school? After standard 6, they are going to national school or any international schools, or they're going to go to other country to study. Are they going to apply, going to use this? And my secondary 1 student, they are brilliant. They are from Chinese school, but they are in Form 1 when, you know, during our Tun time, everything was in English, maths and science. They don't understand. They are so good, nice girls, Indian girls. I asked them, why can't you do? You can, no, teacher, I don't really understand, you know. They can read, but they cannot understand. Why? 6 years in Chinese school. I got nothing against learning Chinese. Good to learn. But this is what happens. So I believe, this is my view, my experience. I believe none of the parents should send the children to Chinese school if the child, they are not teaching the child to speak Mandarin from small.
That's true. I agree
Otherwise,
with you.
your child suffer, because I saw the child suffering. So I don't want to see any child suffering. You can send them for tuition. You can engage a teacher, because not only they learn language, when they go to Form 1, they can understand English and Malay better. They can do well. And English is an international language for the higher studies. So think far, not because what you like. Do what is good for your child. Yeah. And today, if you ask me in my business, all the time, all the letters to Telecom Malaysia, emails, everything, I'm the one who write. Not the secretary of the developers, big, huge company. I write, because my English, I can write English, I can speak English. That's why I can do the business. None of my Chinese client ask me to speak in Mandarin in order to give me business. Even I drive a Kanchil, they will give me the business because I can do the work successfully. So this is what we must instill in every child. You see? So I think Indians got to change their mindset. You want them to learn language? Please send them to Mandarin tuition class. They need to learn. It's good to learn. But don't send them to Chinese school and torture them, emotionally. That is concern. So what do you think? You can also share before we close. I'm really texting
No, I
into
agree
my...
with you. Even I mean, my wife and I, we've discussed this, and I did make it a must. I said, even though, because I have to respect her culture also, right? She,
Yes,
we
there's
are
nothing
a
wrong.
mixed race couple. Yeah. So I said, no, it's okay. Let's go to Chinese school. You see, the problem is, firstly, the perception that Chinese school is better is wrong. If you
No,
want
no,
to,
no.
if
It's
you,
no
no, it's
better.
wrong. Yeah.
Wrong, wrong.
So if you want to, like, for example, like, if I mean, if you look at the performance of Tamil school students, it's better in STEM, right? They do much better. But the thing that Chinese schools offer is they teach a very structured way of thinking. So that's their only, I would say, they are positive. But
Yeah.
regardless, for me, I one of the things that I put a premium on is that my children's first language must be English.
Yes.
Then they will learn Mandarin, Tamil, and all this, as I also
Yes.
learn
Yes.
Mandarin and Tamil.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that is my thing. So I think people, especially nowadays, because the world is becoming so competitive, I think parents should not just rely on schools as a mode of teaching. I think, yes, you spend 3 hours there, for whatever, 6 hours, whatever you spend there, but you should have other avenues on a daily basis where they learn other things. So you keep their mind active, and they are learning new things, and they are exploring new things. I think that must be a must.
Yeah.
I think this obsession about I must know Mandarin well is just a bit, you must know all languages well. You need to know how to
Yes.
speak English well.
Good.
You need to speak your native tongue well. It's hypocritical coming from me, who can't speak Tamil, but it's a point that you should do. But you must speak English well, Malay well, because we live in a multicultural world, not just Malaysia, and we have to compete. So I think, yeah,
And we
I
cannot
think,
focus,
yeah,
and we cannot focus on Malaysia alone. Like you see,
correct.
why I'm saying is that because I've been teaching all level students, all these kind of samples. I cry when I see the child suffers. Helpless. But the parents don't understand what the child suffering. They don't know what is the child suffering. That's why I say all the parents must put their liking, their wish, whatever it is, second, put the child first, the need of the child. And again, I'm a true living example. The English saved me, and English made me better, because now I'm a multi-award winner internationally. I'm the real life example. If I don't get it, I cannot talk. Okay? I know how English managed to say. I can speak Tamil. I can read Tamil. I cannot write. I can read Tamil. My mother is Tamil school educated. My mother, because the English gave me life, even the local business as well as internationally. People pay for me to travel. 20 minutes, but I'm paid with holidays. Why? Because of the proficiency in English. And because you know English, you can study so many subjects, so many this thing, you can take so many courses, you can be skillful in many things, which become a great asset for your life. This is what we have to focus. And I like what you mentioned, Vinodh, we should have a national school. Everybody must go national, national school.
Definitely.
Learn everything. Every child which go to national school must go to Tamil class like those days, and the Chinese go to Chinese class. Learn language. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really text you too much today. I think we are closing now. Thank you so much. Let me go
Thank
to
you
the
for having me.
program. I have vision forward, very interesting, but next time. I've texted you too much. I owe you a treat. Okay, Vinodh, thank you so much for joining us today on Coffee with Estera. Your insight, politics, leadership, and social challenges faced by Indian community in Malaysia have been both eye-opening and very inspiring. To our audience, I hope today's conversation has sparked new thoughts and perspectives on how we all can play a role in building a more inclusive and empowered society, especially just give a thought, ponder over what I mentioned about sending your child to a Chinese school, how it could affect them. Only that. Nothing bad with Chinese school. Okay? But put your child first. That is what I request, because I have seen the real living souls suffering, young souls suffering, lost when they don't understand the language. Okay? Otherwise, you prepare them. Now, let's wrap up our coffee chat with some final thoughts. This has been a Coffee with Estera, where conversation brews ideas and inspiration. Yeah. Until next time, again with our precious Vinodh, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep the conversation flowing. Okay. After this, I will post Vinodh's links, everything on my YouTube channel. Later, you can get connected with him and invite him if you have anything to offer, and he will be a worthy guest for you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Vinodh. Thank you, Vinodh. I never had this a session this long, but it's really pleasure. As I told
Thank
you,
you so
I
much.
owe
It was a
you
pleasure
treat.
too.
Yeah. Good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. See you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. Wait,
Bye.
Vinodh. Yeah.